Before I conclude, I must extend my heartfelt congratulations.
Electrification is something that as a result is important to all of us, and technically it's feasible to create electric motorcycles. However, when you look at the electric motorcycles that have been brought to Kenya recently, we'll find that roughly 80 to 90% by now, they have stalled. They're not operational. The problem here is that the quality of the batteries on those motorcycles is too poor. So they wear off very quickly, and you end up with a customer who starts feeling excited, buying something new, buying the future, maybe buying something that he feels is very economic, because you're not fueling, you're charging. But half a year down the line, you end up charging 3 times, 4 times a day, and when you're charging, you can't be riding, is it? So when you're not riding, you're not making money. All these things have to make sense. There's a time for everything. So Kibo, we're a quality brand. If at this point in time we would want to bring an electric motorcycle of the same quality standards as our current combustion engine motorcycles, we would have to increase the price by 100%. That's just the cost of it. And we're not ready to do that yet. We don't think the market is ready to pay 900,000 Kenyan shillings for an electric motorcycle. Does that mean that we're not working on it? No. We're also working on it. But there's a time and a place for everything. But for now, K250R, it's a combustion bike, and it will make people happy. It's part of our vision to make this a truly African bike. The engineering is done here, but also in the Netherlands. And when we look at this market and the size of this market, Kibo is actually growing so much that we're ready to start exporting. Exports is something very positive for any country to have. We bring in raw materials, we add value by employing Kenyans, and then we sell those materials in the shape of a very good bike to a foreign country, and when we bring in US dollar revenue. We've seen what's happened with the US dollar against the Kenyan shilling earlier in the year, end of last year, and how it makes life very expensive. So for any country to have exports and to generate US dollar revenues is very important. Kibo can play an important role in that, but we need a level playing field. We need incentives from the government, policies that actually favor adding value, not overtaxing us. Help us to create these jobs. Help us with favorable taxation so that when we import the parts that are going to go into bikes and are going to be exported again, won't attract any importation duties that will have to be added on the cost of the bike and make us not competitive in foreign countries.
My name is Tobias Alando. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, and today we joined Kibo in the launch of the new product K250R. Being an association of manufacturers, we are proud of the initiative that Kibo has done in terms of launching this new bike. However, in the policy space, what we are keen on and we've been pushing and they have successfully done is localization of the components for manufacturing of the motorbikes. Motorbikes assembly has different components, and as we stand today, Kibo has been able to localize 30 of those components, and that is a great achievement. What we are trying to push to the government is to incentivize companies that localize their components. When I talk about localization of the component, it's meaning the parts, different parts that make the motorbikes are made locally. When this is done, it creates jobs even to the SMEs who are doing this component. If all the motorbike manufacturers in this country can localize, then jobs will be created not from only the assembly part, but from the component building part of the industries. thus giving jobs to our SMEs and MSMEs and even the Juakali people that we have. Apart from that, also building skills and technology transfer. Our ask to government is to provide tax incentives for every company that does localization to spur investment in this area and also to create more employment. In terms of what we are focusing currently, we have about four pillars that we are focusing on. One is global competitiveness, meaning any manufacturer that manufactures here should be able to compete with their counterparts in the region and internationally. So global competitiveness, the tax administration and the tax policy needs to be conducive. The other thing that we are looking at is export-led growth. The only way that we can address the dollar issue in this country is if our companies, our manufacturers can increase our export to the regions.